Get yourself ready for a minstrel show. Hey, are you independent? Do you not need no man? That's fine. You can always call 1-800 Call a Bear. Call a bear. Hook up with your bear today. Warning, this content creator will not be held responsible if you get eaten alive by that bear.
That's how I told y'all need the music. Don't let the ass out of food.
Wait, crayons? Don't talk about crayons. Crayons? Crayons? Even Kamala told you it's the butt.
I'm done with life. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with life, and it's all Jermaine's fault. It's always Jermaine's fault. I'm done. I'm done.
What's good, everybody? AB Media 83 here, and welcome to Colosseum Daily. Tonight, we're going to be talking about Loud and Wrong is running for Senate. Once again, we're going to be talking about, Loud and Wrong is running for Senate. And if you don't know what I mean by loud and wrong, well, get yourself ready for a minstrel show. Loud and wrong. Oh, don't worry. We're also going to hear from the typical Democrat clown, Roly Poly.
Beep, beep, beep. Yes, master. Beep, beep, beep. Beep, beep, beep. Beep, beep, beep. Yes, master. Beep, beep, beep. Beep, beep, beep.
It's good, Horwitz. Yeah, we're talking about the good old-fashioned minstrel show today. For those of you who haven't heard, she is running for Senate. No, that's not misinformation. Jasmine Crockett has decided to run for the Senate. And yes, Jasmine Crockett is decided to run for Senate, where she lives in Texas. Now, people might ask, why is Jasmine Crockett doing this? Well, Well, her congressional seat doesn't exist anymore. Yeah. The Republicans wrote her district out, along with Al Green. Now, that's me. They were a waste of space anyway, but you know. But you know, if you listen to people like Roly Poly, this racism, beat, racism, beat, 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 it's racism, beat, beat, beat. It's nothing but racism, beat, 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 beat. It's nothing but racism, beat, 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 beat. But yeah, that's what's going on today. Jasmine Crockett announced that she is running for Senate. And no, this is not misinformation. See for yourself. Let's see here. We're looking for this one. See, just don't take my word for it. See for yourself.
Today is the filing deadline to announce you're running for office in Texas. And this is a live look of former the original location of Friendship West Baptist Church, where Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett is announcing she's running for the United States Senate. Let's go live there here.
Well, folks, in other words, beep, beep, beep. Oh, thank you, Horrocks, for the $20 super chat. You had to have seen it in your feeds. AB Brandon Jamal was assaulted by his cousin for yes, I did see that. Just for talking bad about Ms. Loud and Wrong. Yeah, I did see that. Well, before we continue, let me do my propers for you, brother. You get a
ching, 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 ching. You better thank your donors.
Did see that. A brother was talking to his cousin about, Jasmine Crockett. He thinks Jasmine Crockett's an idiot. And she proceeded to physically assault him. If I'm not mistaken, she scratched his face. So, yeah. So, black folk, to that point, black folk, let me pull this out for a minute. Hold on, wait. Let me pull this out for a minute. So, black folk, let me talk to y'all for a minute. So, we attacking our family members now over the Democrat Party that doesn't give a shit about you? Is this what we're doing now? Is this what y'all on? You attacking people who you're scratching your cousin over a party that was started by a slave owner. You're scratching your cousin whose last president wrote the crime bill that broke up the black family. You're scratching your cousin defending that party, defending somebody in that party, but you want to call me a sellout for voting for Trump. Okay.
Here's Pastor Frederick Douglass Haynes III, who also filed today to run for the congressional seat that she was going to run for as well. Let's go live to Dallas.
America, create opportunity. Oh, can. While walking in, never thought the room was.
Nah, screw. We'll just stop here.
It just so happened that they had just started a new public defender's office in rural East Texas. And so I decided that I would join that public defender's office. I joined it because I believed everybody deserved a voice in the courtroom. Even if they couldn't afford an attorney, one would be provided to them, and that attorney was me. I loved being a courtroom warrior.
By the way, fair use, fair use.
Got some judges here. They probably can't identify themselves, but nevertheless, I loved being in the courtroom. You know, I never thought that I would run for office, but some people are able to inspire others as they walk their own path. As a 27-year-old public defender walking in her path, there was someone who came along and inspired me. There was this charismatic, funny, intelligent, and exciting young candidate with a funny name who just got into the U.S. Senate and was running for president.
Hold on, wait a minute. Salute to Adrian Thomas. Okay, so hold on just a second. Republicans are donating to her super PAC because she is seen as an easy win for Republicans. We'll see. We'll see. And she might be an easy win for Republicans in Texas. We will definitely see. She might just be an easy win.
Many doubted if this country was ready, while others, well, we got to work and kept hope alive. We didn't focus on the naysayers. We didn't get distracted by any pollsters. We remained laser focused on
Donald Trump. Let's go on out and say you remain laser focused on Donald Trump.
getting the person who was best for the job into the seat. We didn't let history diminish our hope in what was possible. We ignored that the devil on our shoulder that sometimes.
Oh, I'm so emotional. Oh, so emotional. Lordy B. Lordy B. Hold on, wait a minute. So emotional. Lordy B. Well, let the church say yes. Let the church say yes. Let the church say amen. Okay, this video is like 50 some odd minutes long. We are not going to spend, we're not going to listen to a word salad. Let's go to the next video, which is our good brother Tim Black.
Well, I'm done with politics as usual. I'm done with going along to get along, and it
No, you're not. You're a minstrel show. Stop it.
gets us nowhere. I'm done watching rural hospitals and public schools close their doors. I'm done watching parents be afraid to send their kids to school or the mall or the movies because Republicans have flooded our streets with guns. I'm done with the senators sitting around doing nothing while Trump takes your hard-earned money, skims your Social Security, slashes Medicare, and gives tax breaks to billionaires.
While you give their money to illegal migrants, you don't even belong in this country.
I'm done. I'm done watching the American dream on life support while Trump tries to pull the plug.
While your party didn't do shit when Joe Biden was in office.
It doesn't.
And before we get to Tim Black, while your party didn't do shit when Joe Biden was in office. In fact, Joe Biden is the reason we're in this mess because he decided to fuck with Russia. And now the rest of the world doesn't trust us because of it.
Matter if Jasmine Crockett runs or wins. It doesn't matter if she wins the primary. It doesn't matter if she wins. What difference does it make? And that's the problem. That's my problem. Is what difference does it make if you're fake? What difference does it make if you really don't have the best interests of the people that I care about, the people that I'm supporting, the people that I advocate for? That's what people don't get. That's the kicker.
That's a good question. It might be both. Yeah, it might be both. Yeah, but that's a good question, Horace. That's definitely a good question. But anyway, let's continue.
Sure. It doesn't matter who wins if even when you win, you lose.
Yep.
Democrats have not adopted a policy that says they give a shit about black voters. As long as that's the temperament, as long as that is the way that they operate, it doesn't matter who runs. I know I see videos. I saw people saying, voicing their support for Jasmine Crockett. I saw that. Not going to go there.
Mm-hmm.
I got to have some form of yeah. If you wanted to run, fine. Like, I'm not against her running. I'm not against Jasmine Crockett having the ability to run. Anybody in America is supposed to have the ability to run.
Me neither. I want to see how it plays out. Actually, to be honest with you, I want to see how this plays out.
Just like Biden, right? Right? So anybody should have the ability to run. And I'm not against that. All I'm saying is, I'm not going to sit here and lie to people that I think that Jasmine Crockett actually gives a shit about Black America. I don't even believe she believes in anything, really. I mean, she says, I'm tired of this, I'm tired of that. Let's be clear. Jasmine Crockett.
Yeah, Jasmine Crockett tries to act like a ratchet hood rat, when in actuality, she's a preacher's daughter. Who didn't grow up in Texas, by the way, who grew up in St. Louis. Oops. Oops, did I say that out loud? Well, I guess I did. Oh, well.
Just got into Congress in 2023. It's 2025, and she's tired of the way things are done. Really? Really, Johnson? That's what she's tired. It's Shador Sanders said he was tired of the way things are running in the NFL. You'd be like, shut the fuck up. You just got here. That's Jasmine Crockett. That's Jasmine Crockett. But since it's her, because it's a black woman, that's the problem. Everybody. No one's going to be able to say shit. No one's going to be able to criticize it. No one's going to be able to say.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, don't you talk about Jasmine. Oh, Lordy be.
Look at all the shit she stands for. She's for open
She don't stand for much of anything. Well, except for what they tell her to.
Orders. That don't help my people. I don't give a fuck. She could be
open borders. In other words, let the illegal migrants run amok.
She could be the most charismatic black woman in the world. But the fact that she don't want to close that goddamn border, I never support her. Period. Point blank. I don't want to hear shit because in her district, she supports the open border.
Oh.
In her district, she was fighting harder for immigrants than she was fighting for anybody else. She was fighting more for undocumented migrants than anybody else. So,
by the way, you know the Democrats are for undocumented migrants because they are your replacement for black people. They are your replacement for the black voter base. What you think Brandon Johnson's doing up in Chicago? They're supposed to they brought them in to replace the black people. That's why all them black folk in Chicago are pissed. Pay attention, folks. Pay attention.
I would never support her no matter what. It's got nothing to do with her being a black woman. These are opposite politics that I support. Is that going to change? No, it's not going to change. Any Democrat from Texas and when I hear people saying they support her, what they're saying to me is they don't give a shit about black people because they do not care about the policy.
Mm-hmm.
What policy is she running on that you support? And then we get all the way back down again to identity politics. Because if you can't name a policy that she supports, what the hell are you supporting? What she looks like? What's in her playlist?
Oh, you mean a Butterface minstrel show? And I call her Butterface. Look at her without makeup, and also look at her from certain angles. That's a Butterface. Sorry. For the record, I ain't the prettiest guy either, but at least I'm honest about it.
And other goofy things that have not helped us at all. And then when we say, damn, man, Black Americans, we haven't moved forward in 40 years. And we've been voting for the same party repeatedly without any pressure on that party.
Yep.
For 30 years, we had
no pressure whatsoever. Peace, good brother. Art New Star. We got Art New Star in the building. Hopefully, he didn't choke out one of them children. Children he's dealing with today. But no, I'm just playing Art. But we got brother Art New Star would have been our local teacher.
Had the numbers to make that party change, and we let people like Al Sharpton, we let people like John Lewis, we let people like Maxine Waters,
Roly Poly.
To a lesser degree, we let media like Roland Martin,
oh, there you go,
Joy Reid, and others neuter Black people and keep Black people submissive to a party we pretty much were deciding if they were going to make it off life support. We had the power, and what you do, you let these tokens who were getting money get you to take your eye off the only move you really had. And now that they've said, oh, okay, let's bring in 20 million new voters. That was pretty much game over. Yeah, like all I'm trying to do now is trying to somehow keep a brother living indoors. Somehow keep Black people from not going extinct in the country we built for free. I mean, what a fucking story that would be. Black Americans, greatest performers, greatest artists, built so much, a survival story, an underdog story if there ever was one. Then we damn near go extinct because we've been led by sellouts and liars who wanted a comfortable seat on the Titanic. We had the opportunity for the...
And by the way, the tail of the Titanic's up in the air, and we still got Negroes on this boat acting like they ain't nothing wrong. Anyway.
Last 20, 30 years, when we had the Democrats by the balls, we could have, but we had cowards and we had lames in media who wouldn't take advantage, who would rather get their job like Don Lemon, who would sit behind that desk at CNN and lie to Black people.
Yep.
And make it about pulling your pants up or dropping a bag of chips on the ground. Have something to do with where we were in the country. We littered too much in our communities. This is the type of bullshit rhetoric. Roll the tape. It was everywhere. What's that got to do with Jasmine Crockett, Tim? Everything. Is Jasmine Crockett a fundamental break in that shit?
No.
No, she's not. Neither was Kamala. Neither was Kamala Harris. At least with Barack Obama, we didn't know. I didn't know. I wasn't on this. I wasn't on my gangster shit in 2008.
In all fairness, none of us were. I voted for him twice.
We can't blame people for not knowing what they don't know. But once given the information, and you know, you can't forget. I know what you know. So what I'm saying is, as I look at Jasmine Crockett, it ain't about wishing bad on her. I don't know. The Republicans could suck too. But I can tell you one thing.
Yeah, for the record, the Republicans can fuck up and Jasmine Crockett get elected to the Senate. I'm not so delusional that I think she's going to lose automatically, but we'll just have to see.
It won't be for the open border. So you got to make a decision, Black America. What's going to be more important to you? Your kids trying to hang on to jobs, trying to save off some industry. This new guy, unlike Cornyn, this Paxton guy has more MAGA policies. Yeah, see, no one's going to want to hear it. No one's going to want to hear it. They don't give a shit. They don't really give a shit if black people don't really give a shit if black people survive.
No, they don't.
They just want to look good losing. They just want to look good.
That's very true. Too many black people are too worried about looking good losing.
Good dying. They want to look good homeless. Homeless like in Los Angeles, where we're 7% of the population, but 50% of the homeless.
Well,
Looks good though, doesn't it? Looks good. Jasmine Crockett is proving me right on everything that I ever said. Everything that I ever said, every piece of criticism I've ever put out about Jasmine Crockett, I was right. I was 100% right. When I said she's doing all this for show, all of it is just a move to help herself.
Hence the reason I call it the minstrel show.
And I had a bunch of dummies going, nah, she's fighting a good fight.
Being loud and wrong.
Like 2 years in, she running for Senate. I was wrong. She's literally using in her campaign commercial Trump's voice. She doesn't even talk in the commercial. It was all a play, Goofy. The entire thing was a farce. You a sucker. She's sucking all of you. The entire thing is, what do I got? I got sellouts like Crystal Ball. And you know what? When you're a white woman, you can't be a sellout because you never sold in.
Ooh.
You never sold in at all.
Ooh.
Putting out tweets. Jasmine Crockett is very formidable. It seemed like it was a great launch. And now, shut up. You shut up. This shit was a play from the word go. And everybody on your show called that shit for what it was. It was somebody social climbing the entire time and using black people to do it.
Well,
Mimicking black women from the hood in order to social climb, going after Trump. She talked about Trump on a personal level, insults for 6 months before he replied to her once. And once he replied to her, she acted like she got shot out of a cannon. Then immediately after he replied, she played victim. She talked about the nigga for 6 months. And then when he finally replied to her, because her voice got loud enough, then she act like, oh no, he's attacking little old me. And people like Crystal Ball, fuck you, Crystal. You saw it. You've been in media a long time. They all saw the play. Everybody saw the play that Jasmine was doing. It was self-serving. And that's why people don't like Jasmine Crockett. She's doing this because she has leverage to hurt the Democratic Party. Marjorie Taylor Greene really doesn't.
Yep. She has a particular, how can I say this? She has a particular small head behind her. That's all I'll say for right now. If you brothers want to come up, you can do so. Give me 1 second. Excuse me. I don't know why. Let's see. That's what I'm looking for. A little sleepy, folks. I had to do a dialysis run today, but there's the link if y'all want to come up and chat while I'm playing this. I got a couple other videos to play.
Jasmine has built that up because she has black women. But what do you have, black women? What do you have? You have a person who's looking out for their best interest.
Yep.
And that's it. And how does that benefit us? Is that a win? Well, if you want to live vicariously through someone else, if that is what you consider a win, congratulations.
You played yourself.
But that ain't what I do this shit for. I don't do this so I can see a black person get money. It's money at the post office. I learned that shit back with Hollywood Shuffle, Robert Townsend. The Wayans.
Yep.
I don't need to learn that shit again. You know, they're putting out videos complaining how the Democrats aren't supporting her enough. Yeah, okay, wow. That's what it is. Off the break, out the fucking gym, off the break, from the word go. Victim. She's a victim. Now she's a victim of the party that somehow put together money for this unknown Texas state rep who'd only been in office 2 years to get millions of dollars from the fraudster from the crypto who was a friend of the Democrats. They gave her that. They fucking gave her that district. It was a layup. And now she's a victim. Now the party's bad. It doesn't support it. So that's what they're going to do. Like I said, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I wanted to win or not.
Yeah, pretty much.
What matters is
it's a minstrel show. She's not for black people. And I said what I said.
What will she advocate for? And calling Trump names doesn't help black people. I don't know why black people think it does. Any black people that thinks calling president names helps us doesn't know what help is. Now, if you get shot, you need somebody to stop the bleeding and apply pressure. Exactly. You don't need somebody to go yell at the person that shot you. We need somebody to call an ambulance.
Yep.
If you
we don't need Benjamin Crump showing up to get a settlement. I said what I said.
Really lucky if they're there earlier. Maybe they could shoot back or catch a bullet for you or whatever, or get you out of there in time. I don't know. But yelling and screaming and calling people names and basically doing smearing themselves in the DNA of a falling leader and doing a tell-all to assume the position as front leader in front of them is not helpful to Black America. I know that's a gruesome analogy, but it's the only thing that comes to mind. So anyway, Jasmine Crockett is running for Senate. She's also going to run from Tough Questions. She's going to go all the friendly programs, do all the friendly shit. Because that's what she's been doing up to this point.
Yep. Y'all got the gist of what Tim Black was talking about. Let's now go to our local lefty, Sabby Sabs. See what she has to say about this situation.
I think some people are already getting duped with this announcement here from Jasmine Crockett. Now, they're not getting duped into, her race and believing that, or feeling as though this isn't real. It is real. Jasmine Crockett's district was one of those districts that was a part of the redistricting.
Yep, as I said earlier.
In Texas. So she no longer has a district for the House, right? So now she is running for the Senate. And what I have noticed, and we're going to go through it tonight, what I have noticed is that some people are saying that this is the new progressive champion, the new populist out there fighting for the people.
Good luck with that.
But is she? Because what I'm going to show you is that when we look at the way that Jasmine Crockett has voted, when we look at her position, Israel and other progressive matters, I think that you may feel differently. So Jasmine Crockett has announced that she is running for,
by the way, fair use,
Senate. A lot of people are talking about this, folks. I want you to see what she said here for her announcement.
Well, I'm done with politics as usual. I'm done with going along to get along, and
no, she's not.
It gets us nowhere. I'm done watching rural hospitals and public schools close their doors. I'm done watching.
Newsflash, she don't give a shit about those people either.
And parents be afraid to send their kids to school or the mall or the movies because Republicans have flooded our streets with guns. I'm done with the senators sitting around doing nothing while Trump takes your hard-earned money, skims your Social Security, slashes Medicare, and
Okay, let me translate what Jasmine Crockett is trying to say to you right now. Let me just go on and translate that for you. Goes a little something like this. Blah 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 la. Basically, blah 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 blah. Anyway, let's continue.
And gives tax breaks to billionaires. I'm done. I'm done watching the American dream on life support while Trump tries to pull the plug. The gloves have been off, and now I'm jumping into the ring. I'm asking for your support to be the next United States Senator from the greatest state of Texas.
Yeah, boy.
I'm done with politics as usual.
So that's the announcement that came from Jasmine Crockett. And I think what many people are pointing out about her is that she is more vocal, right? Like she's been a much more vocal in ways that other people in the Democratic Party in Congress have not been, so much to the point where she has received pushback from people in the party, basically telling her, I guess, to kind of tone it down a little bit. Now, I would say the Democratic Party, they do need someone that's going to be willing to fight. But I think people need to ask, what do they want to fight for?
Yep.
And I think that's the thing with Jasmine Crockett, right? So a lot of people, some people are pointing to her and they're saying, this is the new star. This is what we really need in the Senate to fight back against Donald Trump and his agenda. Mm-hmm. But many people are pointing to her new ad that she just released, and people are asking, okay, is she running against Donald Trump, or is she running against, her opponent, who I am going to show you as well, in Texas? I want to show you this ad and you tell me what you think about it. Here it is, folks.
She's the new star of the Democrat Party, Jasmine Crockett. They're in big trouble.
But you have this woman, Crockett. She's a very low IQ person.
I watched her speak the other day. She's definitely a low IQ person. Crockett. Oh, man. Oh, man. She's a very low IQ person.
Somebody said the other day she's one of the leaders of the party. I said, you got to be kidding.
Now they're going to rely on Crockett. Crockett's going to bring them back.
So that's her ad. And some people saw this and they said they thought that this was brilliant. Others saw it and they said, okay, this is great if you're running against Donald Trump, but you're not running against Donald Trump. And some people felt it was egotistical, right? Now I want to show you, because she has a competitor in the primary.
The biggest divide in our country.
Let's bring him in here. I'm just gonna make this a little bit bigger. This is her opponent. Listen to him.
The biggest divide in our country is not left versus right. It's top versus bottom. Billionaires want us looking left and right at each other so that we're not looking up at them.
Agreed.
The people at the top work so hard to keep us angry and divided because our unity is a threat to their wealth and their power.
Yep.
So their social media algorithms and their cable news networks tear us apart. They divide us by party, by race, by gender, by religion, so that we don't notice that they're defunding our schools, gutting our healthcare, and cutting taxes for themselves and their rich friends. It is the oldest strategy in the world: divide and conquer. But we will not be conquered.
So now that I've shown you both of those,
not bad. He probably not going to win either, but we'll see.
Those ads, because this is what people are talking about. His name is James Tallarico. So it's James Tallarico versus Jasmine Crockett. Which one do you think is going to resonate with people the most? The one where Jasmine Crockett is there blinking, and then she turns and faces the camera and Donald Trump is talking crap about her? or the one with James Tallarico, where he is saying that they try to trick you into believing the divide is between left and right, and it's really top and bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And don't get me wrong, I'm going to explain to you how both of them are establishment. But notice the message is different.
Yep.
So let me know what you think about that. What are people saying here in the chat? Susanna said white dude. Okay. His name is James. FM said the white guy. His name is James. Everyone said, okay, everyone is saying like it's obvious which message is going to resonate with people the most. So here's the thing. He put out another video where he said that he doesn't want to attack her. So listen to this.
Hey, Team Tallarico, I just wanted to hop on here and record a quick video for y'all. Lots of news in the race today. On behalf of all of us, I want to welcome Congresswoman Crockett into the Democratic primary race. I chose to run for the honor of being your next U.S. Senator because working people deserve someone who knows how to fight and knows how to win in Washington. We always knew this was going to be hard, and I am so proud of what we've built so far. We've shattered grassroots fundraising numbers. We've built an infrastructure of 10,000 volunteers, just like all of you, who are already putting in the work to win in November. I am so proud of the community and the culture we've built here at Team Tallarico. We have always maintained that we are pro our campaign, not anti anyone else's. We will make the case for why we are best positioned to win this race in November and take power back for working people. But we will always treat Congresswoman Crockett with the utmost respect. She is my colleague and she is a leader in our state. She deserves nothing less. So now is the time. Please sign up to Phone Bank, send texts, learn how to host block walks. Let's go win this thing.
So that's James. He said he's not going to do meaningful attack ads against her. So that's who she's running against in the Democratic primary. And people are asking, well, is she going to win the primary? I don't know. She might, she may not. But at the end of the day, both of them, whoever wins, is going to have to face the general election. Now, Texas, I know some areas of Texas are blue, more so like cities like Houston, Austin, but for some reason, people like Ted Cruz continue to win, right? So ultimately, people are saying, well, at the end of the day, the Republican is probably going to win. But we'll have to see. But when it comes to progressive and populist, and I see some people already starting to call it out, like Ryan Grimm is calling it out. Some people think that because Jasmine Crockett is very vocal, that she agrees with a lot of these progressive policies. And that's actually not the case. In fact, when it comes to foreign policy, I want to show you how Jasmine Crockett has voted. There have been organization called Lobbying for Palestinian Rights. They have been tracking her record. They gave her an F for how she votes in Congress when it applies to Israel. And so they broke this down by voting record, letters signed, co-sponsorship statements, and they gave her a total score of 28%. That's why they gave her an F. So I just don't want people to be fooled. I don't want you guys to be duped, right? So the de-escalation letter, she signed on to that. Urging bilateral ceasefire, she did not sign. The settler violence letter, she's on to that. Statements, a statement condemning Rashida Tlaib saying from the river to the sea, she didn't sign on. Has called for a ceasefire? No. When it comes to legislation, standing with Israel as it defends itself against barbaric war launched by Hamas and other terrorists, she voted yes. HR 340, Hamas International Financing Prevention Act, she voted yes. Condemning the support of Hamas, Hezbollah, and other terrorist organizations at institutions of higher education, which may lead to the creation of a hostile environment for Jewish students, faculty, and staff, she voted yes. Legislation introduced but not voted on, calling for an immediate de-escalation and ceasefire in Israel and occupied Palestine, she did not sponsor that. Israel weapons sale, JRD, she also is not sponsoring that. So see, this is why I say it's important to look at, the records, and you can see other things here as well. The amendment banning funds to colleges with events that violate the IHRA definition of anti-Semitism. Nay. Calling on Hamas to immediately release the hostages. Yes. Affirming Israel's right to exist and denying that right is anti-Semitism. She said yes. Declaring that only Hamas unconditional surrender can save civilian lives. She said yes. So when you look at her voting record,
well,
99.9% of the time she voted along with Israel and what they want. So I don't want people to be duped, because I've already seen like leftists on social media saying, yay, she's the progressive fighter that we need, when they're not looking at the way that she votes. And I don't think they're looking at her funding either. I would say that Jasmine Crockett is a standard corporate Democrat who happens to speak up more often than others. Listen to what she said here during an interview about Israel. Zed Jelani said, but at least...
Why do you think I call her the minstrel show?
At least Jasmine Crockett must be progressive, right? Here she says it would be one of the scariest things to stop giving taxpayer funding to Israel. Listen to this. So this was an interview that Jasmine Crockett was a part of. Listen to what she said here.
Tired of us sending money to Israel.
I understand. I also think that if people are going to vote as it relates to...
Okay, before we continue, this episode of Colosseum Daily has been brought to you by Gynocracy Soup, the Black Woman is God. Condensed lies and bullshit. Now with 1,000% extra sodium. Like, share, subscribe. Hit my Cash App, support the show, and hit the super chat and support the show. Now let's continue.
Foreign affairs, which typically is not how people vote. People typically vote based on how are the gas prices treating me right now? How are my housing costs treating me right now? What's my job situation looking like? Those are the things that typically drive our elections and how people decide how they're going to vote. When you start talking about foreign affairs, if that is going to be kind of like the precipice for determining whether you vote or who you vote for, then I want people to really dig in to foreign affairs, right? Like, and ask the question, which I think is a fair question. I think it's a fair question of all the money, is to ask the question of, well, why do we send money to Israel? Like, what is that about? And learn about the fact that this is an allyship that existed before I was around, before, well, no, the president was a baby.
So there have been allyships and there have been, partnerships and laws.
This is a serious problem. I've seen plenty of knuckleheads trying to explain away this stuff that Jasmine's saying right now.
That happened before I was around, before she was around, that weren't always right. So just because something existed before we were born or before we were around doesn't mean it should continue.
Mm-hmm.
So let me let her finish. This is how I know she's got those pro-Israel talking points, because she did participate in that Israel trip.
He was still around though. But it is an enduring relationship and learning the history of the region in and of itself. And I would argue that the most disputed land in the world is that land.
I just got one question for y'all. Why do y'all think I started off the show with this clip right here? Get yourself ready for a minstrel show. There's your minstrel show.
and it goes beyond the Palestinians and the Israelis, but I mean, you can go back to the Romans. So one of the scariest things for me, if I'm being like 1,000 right now, which my team will beat me up about this later, but if I'm being 1,000 about this, when you think about, and because of the conversations that I've had, if the United States says we will throw away our 75 plus year relationship with Israel because we don't like their leader, then if we end up with Trump, we set a precedent for all these other allies to throw us away, because I have heard from other ally nations that they don't fucking like Trump, right?
So we should continue to have an allyship with a state.
So in other words, we should just blindly ignore the fact that so-called Israel is committing a genocide. Land of the free and home of the brave, folks.
State that is committing genocide against a group of people because other allies may turn away from us because they don't like Trump. I'm really confused here. Like, this is really not a good look. And this is what I've been warning people about with Jasmine Crockett, because I already see people who are progressive and leftist cheering her on, and they're not telling people who Jasmine Crockett really is. I saw this happen with John Fetterman, and I tried to sound the alarm back then. Now, I didn't have as many subscribers back then, so a lot of people didn't see that video. But I warned people when John Fetterman was running for the Senate that he was pro-Israel. I warned people that I showed interviews where John Fetterman said during the interview that he was not progressive. Yet all these podcasters told people that he was, and he was clearly in interviews telling people that he wasn't. He was clearly in interviews telling people that he would support Israel at all costs. He did not show any sympathy for the Palestinian people. I sounded that alarm, and a lot of people came after me on social media because I was trying to warn people about John Fetterman. And now I'm trying to warn you about Jasmine Crockett. And I just hope people pay attention, because just because someone is, I guess, willing to stand up to the supposed opposition, right? Just because someone stands up to Donald Trump, just because they stand up to Marjorie Taylor Greene, okay, that's easy. That's the minimum. Obviously, if you're a Democrat, you're supposed to stand up against the Republican Party. If you're a Republican, you're supposed to stand up against the Democratic Party. That's the bar is like here. What people need to pay attention to is, are they willing to stand up against power? Are they willing to call out the leaders in their party when they're complicit in a genocide, or are they going to go along with it? And these are the things that people have to pay attention to. So Jasmine Crockett is pro-Israel. Let's continue.
If we lose our allies, now I'm looking at the vulnerability of us, the people that elected me. And I am concerned about whether or not, like, we live in a bubble. You talk about bubbles, we live in a bubble. Because on both sides of us, we got water, and north and south, we got pretty decent friends, right? Like, we closer with the people up north than we are the people down south. But either way, we got friends on both sides, right? That don't mean that we are liked in this world. Like, a lot of people hate us. But it's about being able to flex. Like, oh, do you want to play with us?
That sounds like pro-militarism. So yeah, why is it that some people in other countries don't like us? I don't know. Maybe because we're destroying their countries.
Yep.
Maybe because we've killed their people in their countries. Maybe it's because we steal their resources. Maybe because we're always wreaking war and havoc all across the world. So this whole idea of, do you want to mess with it, sounds neoconish. Shout out to Zed Jelani for sharing that. And I'm telling you guys again, like, we cannot get down with the pro-war. No pro-wars, no neocons. Those days are done. So I just don't want people to get duped by her. And then I want to show people this, because let me tell you something, okay? Check this out. Ben Gravier and friends are wearing a noose to signal their support for executing detainees. Clearly designed to look like a yellow hostage ribbon at first glance, the Heritage Minister, Amachi, on the right who oversees the ethnic cleansing of Sebastia. So this is who I want to be very clear about this, because we can't hold back. All these politicians that are supporting Israel, this is who they are supporting. And so my message here, especially to the Congressional Black Caucus, the CBC, the Congressional Black Caucus, that is very pro-Israel and prioritizes Israel above the needs for the Black communities here that they represent. They are very pro-Israel. This is who you're siding with. The administration that's wearing this pin that's a noose. So we got the word rhymes with spoons. We have some spoons in Congress.
Mm-hmm.
We have some spoons in Congress that are going along with different forms of supremacy and disguising it under religion and saying we have an allyship with them because we have a shared interest. I don't have a shared interest that is this. So everybody remember this. When you hear all the other, especially the Black politicians say that they have undying support for Israel. And Jasmine Crockett is pro-Israel. When we go on to see here, shout out to Ryan Grimm is even calling it out. People are noticing. Ryan Grimm said Jasmine Crockett also said this while campaigning and has proceeded to take much more corporate PAC money than her opponent had. She's a corporate Democrat. I'm not going to let people sell her as a grassroots populist candidate when she's not. I saw people do this with John Fetterman. It was a lie. It's a lie that Jasmine Crockett is this populist grassroots candidate. She's not. And this is what Ryan Grimm is talking about. She shared this special interest and PAC money accepted by the opposition over 191,000. Jasmine Crockett, 0. That was back in 2020. But to Ryan's point, she went on to take more corporate PAC money than the opposition that she was running against. So I'm not letting my viewers get duped. Because I see a lot of people falling for her. And I'm like, wait a minute now. Do you know who this person really is? Karthik called it out. Jasmine Crockett waded into the NYC mayor election against NYC DSA and put her thumb on the scale against Zoran. New Yorkers and NYC DSAers should return the favor in Texas. So that's what Karthik is saying there. She endorsed Adrienne Adams. She's a corporate Dem. I don't know why people try to make her out to be this progressive, because she's not. Let me pull up the video here from Blakely, because I think Blakely summed it up very well. Because Blakely's not falling for the BS. Let's go ahead and bring this in here.
You know what really bothers me about Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett running for Senate in Texas is not the fact that she ran this really embarrassing, incredibly narcissistic ad that basically is just about herself, or the fact that Texas very much is still a red state, so it's unlikely that a Democrat is going to win for the Senate there. What actually really bothers me about it is how willing progressives are, my fellow people on the left, to quickly abandon everything you claim to stand for just because you like someone's personality. I saw this article and I was like, is this a fucking joke? Jasmine Crockett's bid for the Senate is the latest sign of a Tea Party style revolt for progressives? Yeah, you can't call it a Tea Corporate Democrat pretending it's an insurgency. Democrats literally do this every fucking cycle. Stop falling for it, because voters are angry. Every time you lie to them and con them, you lose more permanently. Proving what.
Yes, that part there is so important, right? Like every time you try to con the voters, you end up losing them. This happens. We saw it happen with John Fetterman. You see it happening also right now with Donald Trump. But does everybody see what's going on here? Stop lying to people about who Jasmine Crockett is. Just be upfront about it. She's a corporate Democrat. She takes a lot of corporate PAC money, even though she said she wasn't going to, and she ended up taking it anyway. She's pro-Israel. And here's the thing. I looked it up. Jasmine Crockett doesn't even take money from AIPAC. She's doing it for free. Hell, that's even worse. So we can't just look at the politicians and say, oh, do they take money from AIPAC or not? Those that have been in office, we have to look at the way that they have voted when it comes to that legislation.
Once again, that you've learned shit from the last election. You can cope and seethe about it all you want, but the fact of the matter is, Jasmine Crockett is a very standard conservative corporate Democrat. Just because she's good at trolling Trump and she's got a good media presence doesn't make her a progressive. In her first run, she was heavily propped up by the crypto PACs, the same ones that support Trump. She also went on one of those paid pro-Israel trips where they do propaganda with the IOF war criminals. It's actually a video someone compiled 15 minutes straight of her dodging questions about the Israeli regime and refusing to say we should stop funding them. Some people will be quick to point out, well, she doesn't take money from AIPAC. This, absolutely unacceptable. The whole point of criticizing people from taking money from AIPAC is that they're being bribed to support the Israeli regime. Doing it for free doesn't make it any better. She always votes with the Israeli regime in their funding. She also bragged against her opponent in 2020 that she wasn't taking corporate PAC money and then promptly went on to take a ton of corporate PAC money. Before you think that there's hope for another candidate in that James Tellerico guy, you would be mistaken. Because while you'll hear people say, he's a nice pastor's son that's running against corruption in the billionaire class and the corporate interest. Yeah, about him. He has really close ties to Miriam Adelson. Yes, that Miriam Adelson has taken tons of money from her affiliated PACs.
So as you can see, they're both corporate. That guy's connected to Miriam Adelson. And this is where I say, you know, the Green Party should be all over this. This is where I say the other third parties, they should be all over this and offering people an alternative to Jasmine Crockett and this James dude. That's what I'm saying. Or there needs to be an independent. They should be all over this because they're.
Yeah, y'all get the gist of it. But basically, Jasmine Crockett is running for Senate in 2026. And it's going to be interesting to see. But that's all I really had for today. I'd like to thank everybody that came through. This is AB Media 83, and I'm out. Peace. Yo, this is AB Media 83. Want to support the channel? Hit the Cash App. Also, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the video. Also, be sure to hit that bell notification so you can be notified next time I upload a live stream or video. And always remember, keep it grinding, keep it pushing, keep it moving. This is AB Media 83, and I'm out. Peace.